She just started rocking back and forth all over the bed. This suddenly turned into a rodeo that I wasn't prepared for. I'm grabbing onto the bondage and restraints myself, just trying to hang on as I'm flying around, trying to put like one hand on the restraints, one hand on her nip. Welcome back to the Manor. I'm Midnight, your host, and today we're having a fun topic here. We're going to be discovering the secret pleasures that you have at your own home. Oftentimes when we think about that ideal kink scene, someone's dressed to the nines while someone else is pretty much stripped naked. There's fancy toys, fancy equipment. It's all decked out. Thousands of dollars of fun toys that you've collected over the years. But what if you don't have that? What if you want something simple that you can just do with your partner that's fun and engaging? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Discovering these little tips and tricks that you have in your own home that's going to enhance your intimate experience together. So starting off, we have a bit of a twist on a classic there. We've all heard the stories of the girlfriend grabbing their partner's sweater, coat, or let's just be honest with each other, stealing it, wrapping it around themselves so they can get that nice scent of their partner. That sort of aroma, that closeness. We're now going to use that to help create some sensation and foreplay with it. You can grab the sweater, perhaps more conveniently a scarf, a necktie, any light piece of fabric that you can wrap around their eyes. This is going to basically kill two birds with one stone, where not only are you removing the sensory of the eyes, allowing them to be able to focus on their other sensations, you're now adding that extra sensation of the scent of your partner. And you can even customize this a little bit more. It doesn't have to be their natural aroma. It could be their favorite cologne, their perfume, or your partner's favorite smell of you as well. And this is not just for the ladies. I will say that men enjoy their ladies' smell as well. That nice perfume, something that just kind of takes them away and connects emotionally to that memory of your loved one. So now that you've brought both of those together, there's one more item that we can throw in very easily to help create this sensory experience to help warm up with a scene. You're going to put on headphones on your partner. Again, we're now starting to control the sensations. On top of that, we're creating the anticipation, where now, since they can't hear where you're moving around as such, it makes it more fun for the mystery that we're going to be talking a little bit later on. Now, when you're playing the headphones, you can go with the classics there, some nice music, maybe it's something sexy, empowering, sounds of nature, or if you want to spice it up a little bit more, you can have your partner's voice playing. Or even better, have it start off with a familiar sound you've done before with sensory play, and then all of a sudden it cuts off and they're just like, huh? And then all of a sudden they hear that deep or sexy voice. Now we're going to play a game, loved one. And we're going to have fun. And you're going to do exactly what you're told. Already we're setting that scene. You're almost creating your homemade smut. And you don't know what your partner is going to be saying to you next. But if you need a little bit of guidance, we're going to play a game. Before you apply the blindfold, the headphones, you show them a collection of items you've had around the house. This could be some simple toys, a deck of cards, a pen, anything that can create a nice little sensory scratch along the skin. And that's exactly what you're going to use them for. While they're blindfolded, they've got your aroma in their nose, they've got your voice in their ears. Now all of a sudden they feel something caressing along their skin. They don't know what it is. And because you have a collection of little knickknacks and items, you're going to keep them guessing. And just to bring it up one more extra level, you introduce a reward system, or perhaps, if you really want to make it fun, a punishment system if they don't guess correctly the item that you're using. Hopefully they were paying attention and memorizing the items you told them were going to be important. Did they listen? You're going to find out. So now you've brought all these items that you use in your everyday life and you've constructed a scene. You've built those sensations on multiple levels. Let's talk about introducing some more. The next part that you can do is introduce temperature plays. both the hot and cold. Again, another fun way to be able to do this with the sensories is you can take a sock, you could fill it with rice, beans, any sort of like small objects along in there, tie it off, warm it up in the microwave, and then you can bring it out and caress along their body. And gentlemen, if you're trying to find a way to introduce foreplay that is fun, creative, and entertaining for you, as well as for her, this is a great way to warm her up. But of course, it's not just about warming up. It's not the only fun way to do things. If you've got it negotiated, you can introduce the cold play of ice cubes. Keep it in a nice little tray next to you. Warm, cold, the flowing temperature. Maybe they know what's coming, maybe they don't. You could even have that going in the headphones as a part of the game. If your partner moves when you provide a sensation, then all of a sudden the cold goes loose on top of it, encouraging them to create their own form of self-bondage. Sort of consequence game for keeping your hands in a certain position or maintaining perhaps a particular kneeling position there as well. And making it a lot more fun about trying to keep yourself in that position while keeping the consequences still very much so enjoyable. And I'm going to share a little personal story there. When I was first in the lifestyle, didn't have a whole lot of toys, but was still able to have a lot of fun. I went back to this wonderful lady's house and got her naked, strapped down to the bed, nice and tight. We were playing with a few different little sensory devices. We had like just a couple impact play toys and such, not too much. And we were trying to think of different things to try as we kind of kept going through various things. And then she turned to me and said, well, hey, I've got some ice cream in the fridge. We've already tried the ice cubes. Let's bring it up a level. So I went over to her freezer, got out her favorite ice cream, and then I got one of those metal scoops that you use to just dig in there. Got a nice big heavy scoop, hopped on top of her, grabbed it, and just pressed it hard solid onto her nipple. And boy, oh boy, was that fun. She just started rocking back and forth all over the bed. This suddenly turned into a rodeo that I wasn't prepared for. I'm grabbing onto the bondage and restraints myself, just trying to hang on as I'm flying around, trying to put like one hand on the restraints, one hand on her nipple, trying to keep that cold temperature play while we're both going through a wild ride. After a while, it melts along there and it's all coated. So what do? I believe in equality. It's very important. So I grabbed another scoop of ice cream, hopped back on top, put it onto the other nipple. And it was rinse and repeat. After we were done, she was pretty much a sundae. So of course then, we had a snack together. It was so much fun, energy, and I remember it. It's been over 15 years since I've done that scene. And I still just remember the passion that we had in there, the creativity, the connection we were able to form by just having these random ideas and trying something. And that is so much of what creates the fun in introducing kink or other spicier elements into your relationship, is you're trying to build those unique memories and experiences that are shared between you. And that's what builds those long-term bonds over time. Now, of course, there are a whole plethora of things that you can use around the house to convert, be deviant, get creative with. Even finding the items or trying to spark those ideas, you can turn into a game. You could have a scavenger hunt to try to see who can find what and why it is that they think that this would be a fun idea to be able to bring into the bedroom. Of course, I'll offer you a couple of ideas to kind of get you started. There is the silicone spatula. Great for impact play, easy to be able to clean up, not too hard to be able to find. Maybe take one and keep it in your kink bag after, so you might want to buy an extra one there, kind of keep those things separate a little bit. There's the classics, getting that bag of clothespins, which again can tie so well into the scene that we were describing before. They're blindfolded, they can't hear you moving around, and then maybe it's hot, cold, and then just a little bit of a pinch somewhere. And they're not allowed to move. Or else, maybe it's ice cubes again. On top of that, you can use elastic bands, just putting it around the fingers, drawing it out a little bit, adjusting the tension to what's going to be good for your partner, and then just a little. Because also, let's be honest, doms are just brats who for some reason you decided to let be in control. One last item is a little bit of DIY bondage, where we're going to create human sushi. You basically take some blankets, you take your partner, you strip them down, and then you wrap around. Probably a better idea is to use it on the upper body where you can get the arms on the side. Make sure that you could fully wrap around. You wrap around once, wrap around twice, thrice, and for a change of pace, wrap it around one more time. Make sure that they are very snug. Now all of a sudden, they're in full bondage wrap, they can't escape, and, lo and behold, their lower body is exposed and at your mercy. And since we did say this was human sushi, you might as well have a snack. So that's all that I have for you this time, but I want to hear, what are your items? What are your lists? What are the things that you've discovered, that you've been creative about, that you've been able to use in your bedroom? Comment down below. See if you can surprise me, but I don't think you can. But a guy can always hope. And of course, like the video, subscribe, tell me more about the kind of content. Did you like it? Did you not? Is this more of what you want? We want to build this community together. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.